and welcome to Farmhouse on 5th. In this video, I'm illustrating how to string your foundation row and then brick stitch beads on top of that foundation to create the angular top of your earrings. Something different that I like to do is use a slightly larger size bead at the top of the brick stitch, which I then use to hold my jump ring. I think it gives a nicer finish to the earrings, as well as letting them hang and dangle a little better. I offer a few earring pattern options that you can implement this design into, and you can find links to my patterns in the description below. I also offer design your own download sheets using foundations of 5, 7, 9, and 11 beads wide, and this tutorial can be adapted to all the patterns in various sizes. To begin, you will start by cutting about a meter-long piece of stringing thread. I like to use 6-pound fishing line or fire line, which I can buy at the Canadian Tire. String 6 beads and carefully guide them to the bottom of your meter-long thread, leaving about a 3-inch tail. Then, from the bottom of the 6th bead, string through 3 of them. This naturally stacks your beads together to make 2 rows of 3 beads high. At this point, I like to make a surgeon's knot with the tail and the main thread. You can choose to weave your tail thread through the beads now, or finish that process when your project is completed. Pick up 3 more beads and continue stringing in the previous row until the desired number of rows is achieved. In this tutorial, I'm making a foundation of 7 rows by 3 beads tall. With your foundation row now complete, it's time to move on to your brick stitch. With the start of every new row, you pick up 2 beads, and then continue picking up 1 bead to the end of the row. Each row will be 1 bead shorter than the previous row. With 2 beads on your needle, find the second bead from your foundation row and thread through it. Then thread up through the second bead. Pick up 1 bead, thread through the next thread from the foundation row, and carry on until you reach the end of that row. Turn your work. Pick up 2 more beads on your needle, find the second bead from the previous row, and thread through that. Then, thread up through the second bead. Pick up 1 bead, thread through the next thread from the previous row, and carry on until you reach the end of your row. Continue starting each row with 2 beads, then stringing 1 bead to the end of the row, decreasing 1 bead each row until there are only 2 beads left at the top of your brick stitch. At this point, this is where I like to do things a little bit differently. There are other designers who will string beads at the very top to form a loop, which then holds the jump ring. But I prefer using a single larger bead at the top, which I string through sideways. When I am ready to assemble my earrings, I use this larger bead to hold the jump ring. I think it gives the earrings a cleaner and more polished look, and I feel that it allows the ear hooks to dangle a little nicer since they aren't getting caught on the bulk of the strung beads together. That said, I'd love to know your thoughts and get your feedback on this method. I promise I will respond to your comments. That concludes this tutorial, and thanks again for tuning in to the Farmhouse Studio on 5th.